Hello, good evening from wherever you are watching us today. Good evening. You're all welcome to our book review and you're welcome to our platform. So thank you for joining us today. If you're live with us on Facebook, please drop a comment, just say hello, say hi, let's know where you're streaming from. So thank you very much. So we'll go straight right into our conversation of today. So we are having our book review, and this month we'll be reviewing this book, How Successful People Grow by John Maxwell, and this is the book. Yes, here with me. So we'll be reviewing the first two chapters. So we'll move straight into our conversation today. My name is Choma Dikolo. You're all welcome. I refer to myself as a masterpiece, a renewed parent, and a light bearer. So you're all welcome to our book review today. So we're reviewing the first four chapters. So the first chapter is the name of the book is How Successful People Grow. And the first chapter is Become an Intentional Learner. So as parents, as individuals, for us to grow, we have to become intentional with our learning. We have to intentionally want to learn. We have to intentionally want to do better. Because growth doesn't just happen. Growth does not fall on anybody. Growth does not fall on anyone without putting in the work. So we as parents have to be intentional about our growth. Now, if we must focus on growth, we must grow and always hit our goals. So our goal, our priority as parents should be to grow on a daily basis. My coach will always say something. She said, as a parent, your number one job or your number one role or responsibility is not to parent. Your number one role or your number one responsibility is to grow. So as parents, we have to grow. We have to be intentional about our growth. We have to long to grow. We have to have the zeal, the enthusiasm. We have to have the hunger to grow. We don't improve by just simple living. We have to be intentional about it. We have to be intentional about our living. We have to be intentional about everything we do. We have to put in the work. We have to be intentional about we improving, we doing better, we transforming ourselves, we growing and being better than we were. Now, if we want our life to improve as parents, we must first of all improve ourselves. We must make that conscious effort to improve ourselves on a daily basis. It should be like a daily goal. It should be like something we strive for, something we strive to do on a daily basis. We must make conscious efforts to improve ourselves. So check around you. What areas do you need to work on yourself? What areas do you need to improve on yourself? Do you need to improve on your communication? Do you need to improve on your conflict resolution? Do you need to improve on your parenting? Do you need to, I can see Mr. Chidebere. Thank you, sir, for joining us. You're welcome, sir. Yes. Do you need to improve on your communication? What areas do you need to improve? So just check around you and begin to make intentional efforts and intentional steps to improve. Now, we must decide where we need or want to grow. As parents, we need to check which areas am I not really doing well? What are the areas I need to improve? What are the areas I need to work on myself? Do I need to work on my parenting? Do I need to work on my marriage? Do I need to work on my relationship with my children? Do I need to work on my job, my career? We have to intentionally seek or look out for the areas we need to improve or we need to grow. Now, we need to choose what we'll learn and follow through with discipline. When we find out the areas we need to grow, the areas we need to improve on, we need to look for the strategies on how to grow. We need to look for the strategies on how to improve. And we must follow through those strategies by being disciplined. For example, as a parent, our number one job or our first role or responsibility is to grow. So you look for a strategy. Do I need to attend a parenting course? Do I need to attend a parenting school or a parenting academy? You seek out for the strategies that will improve on your growth and you follow through with discipline. Now, once we start growing intentionally as parents, we can keep growing and keep asking what is next. So when we start to grow intentionally, our question should be, what is next? What is next? What do I need to improve on again? What areas do I need to grow on? So growing is not something that, it's a journey. We don't get to a particular point and say, oh, I've reached this point, I have stopped growing, or I will stop growing. No, it's a journey. So at every point in time, we are asking ourselves as parents, what is next? What areas do I need to improve on? What areas do I need to grow on? So that is what we are meant to do as parents. Now, a mistake is simply another way of doing things. So as parents, we must be intentional about growing. Except we make mistakes every day and welcome them as a sign that we are moving in the right direction. So we must be comfortable with making mistakes. We must be okay with making mistakes if we must grow as parents. You know, when we make mistakes, let's see it as an opportunity for us to grow, as an opportunity for me to improve. So we sit down and ask ourselves, what happened? Why did I make this mistake? What transpired? What should I do better next time? You know, that is what mistake should do to us, or for us, because it's a time for us to reflect. So a good number of us, we grew up with this idea of, oh, I don't want to make mistake. Oh, I cannot be the person that make mistake. But the truth is that it's okay to make mistakes. What matters is what we as parents do with the mistake. When we make a mistake, what effort are we making to make a better choice or a better decision next time? So we must see mistake as opportunities for us to grow. We must not demonize our mistakes. We must embrace our mistakes and pick up the lessons and run with it. If we must see more of the way, then we must get moving. We must keep on moving. We must keep on moving. If you must grow as a parent, if you must even get to the future, you must keep on moving. You know, there is this quote I saw recently. I think it's by Martin Luther King. I'm not very sure. But the quote said something like, you know, before you see the full step, you must first of all take the first step. Like before you see the end of the step, you must first of all take a first step. Just like, for example, if you want to climb a staircase, before you see the end of the steps or where the stairs end, you must first of all make a step. You must put on your step, make the first step, second step, third step, until you get to the end. So if we must grow, we must keep on moving. Don't be stagnant. Don't say, oh, I'm waiting for everything to be 100%. I'm waiting till I have my camera is 100%. I'm waiting till I have the money to buy books. I'm waiting. The truth is that the more we wait, the more we give excuses, and the more we are not growing. So just start moving, start growing. Look around you. What are the things I can start to do from now that can set me on this journey of growth? Now, reasons to keep growing far outweighs the reasons to stop growing, to start growing. So the reasons we have to keep on growing on a daily basis, on a continuous basis, it outweighs the reason to even start. So the reasons why we need to continue should outweigh the reason why we even started. That is just to tell us that we have to grow on a continuous basis. We have to improve on ourselves. We have to transform ourselves as parents on a continuous basis. If you are aware that others are better than you as a parent, don't be discouraged. Be glad others are there to show you the way. So as parents, we must always be comfortable and happy that someone is ahead of us. Someone is better than us. The truth is that when we find that person or that system that is better than us, we should embrace it and see what we can learn from that person. That is where the role of mentors come in, the role of coaches come in, because they have gone ahead of us. So we should embrace them and pick up the lessons we need to learn from them. Then we must also understand as parents that we must always prepare ourselves. And one of the ways of preparing ourselves is that we have to grow, we have to read books, we have to improve on ourselves, we have to attend courses, we have to transform ourselves. In fact, my coach said we have to recreate ourselves. We must improve on our attitude towards our growth. What is your attitude as a parent towards growth? Or are you the type of parent that you're just nonchalant, you don't want to read a book, you're there forcing your children to read books but you don't want to read? What attitude do you have towards growth? And then what are the opportunities around you for you to grow? What are the courses you need to take? What books do you need to read? Who are the people you need to reach out to for you to go? Check around you, check for opportunities to go and grab it and begin to take action. Begin to make the steps. Step out from your comfort zone. Go out and improve. Go out and learn. The truth is that we can all grow, we can all learn, we can all improve on our skills. That is just the truth. So we don't have to limit ourselves. We have to have a growth mindset and not a limiting mindset. Now, if we must reach our goals as parents and fulfill our potential, we must be intentional about our growth. And the truth is that when we start to grow, we start to change our lives. So the question we need to ask ourselves is, where do you want to go to in life? As a parent, where do you want to go to? Where do I want to go to? What are your goals? What are your vision? What direction do you want to go to? What direction is leading you? What way do you want to use? Just like when you're traveling, you have different routes. So which of the routes do you want to take? What's the farthest you can imagine? As far as your eye can see, what is the farthest I can imagine? The truth is that the more we have got to work with, the greater your potential. The more we improve on ourselves, the more we grow, the more we transform ourselves, the more we recreate ourselves, the greater our potential. So we must learn to do it now. We must learn to take actions now. We must learn to use the resources we have now to grow, to improve on ourselves. Then finally, on this chapter, we must remember as parents that growth doesn't just happen. It doesn't happen just like that for anyone. Growth is not something you just say, okay, I'll just stay and grow to follow me. We have to go after it. We have to seek it. We have to go in search of it. We have to go out and put in the work. We have to go out and do what we need to do to grow. We have to go out to read books, to attend courses, to attend webinars. We have to go out to seek for growth before we begin to grow. So that is it for chapter 1. Then chapter 2 is developing self-awareness. Now, as parents, we must know ourselves to grow ourselves. If we must grow, if we must improve on ourselves, we must first of all know ourselves. We must know who we are. We must know our strengths. We must know our weaknesses. We must even know our interests. What interests you as a parent? What are your strengths? What are your opportunities? What are your weaknesses? The truth is that we have to know all this about us when we are on this journey of growth before we can start to grow. We have to grow in order to know who we are. For us to even know who we are as a person or as a parent, we have to grow. You can't just sit down and say, oh, I am this, I am Chioma, I am this. No, you have to know who you are, and the process of knowing who you are deeply, is the process of growth. You have to grow. You have to go out and seek growth. Now, another thing we have to understand as parents is that we have to explore ourselves as we explore. We have to explore our strengths, our weaknesses, the things that trigger us, the things that have been traumatizing. We have to go on this journey of understanding who we are, of being aware of who we are. Now, we must also understand that as parents, awareness is very key. It's very key that we are aware of ourselves. It's very key that, okay, even after being aware, what next? You need to take actions. What are the things I need to do? For example, you're aware of something you need to work on. Maybe you need to improve on your reading skills. You need to improve on your communication. What are the actions you need to take? It's not okay for you to be aware and not do anything. So when you're aware, what next? What are you going to do next? And even after you carry out your action, you have to submit yourself to a system of accountability. So one of the ways we can grow is by submitting ourselves to a system of accountability. Most of us will say, oh, I'm going to do this. I will achieve it. I will achieve this. I want to achieve this goal. I want to read my book. I want to attend this course. But sometimes we don't do it. We eventually not do it. Why? Because sometimes we are not accountable to anybody. You're not accountable to a system. When you understand that, okay, I am accountable to a system, I am accountable to someone, you want to go out and carry out the action of improving on yourself. So that is it for us as parents. Then chapter 3, we have to believe in ourselves. So we must see value in ourselves first to be able to add value. We must see ourselves as valuable individuals to be able to add value. So how do you see yourself as a parent? Do you see yourself as a person of value? Do you see yourself as a person worthy to give out value? The truth is that if we must give out value, we must first of all see ourselves as being valuable. We all have the seeds of success within us. We all have the seeds of success within us. Success is not meant for some certain kind of people. We all carry the seeds of success. The truth is that even in the Bible, we are creative. We are gods. The Bible said that we are gods. We are created in the image and likeness of God. That means we can create because our God is a creator. So we all have the seeds of success within us. So we have to believe in ourselves. Stop limiting yourself. Stop doubting yourself. Are you the type of person that when they say, oh, would you want to try this? You say, no, I don't want to try. No. We must learn to believe in ourselves, and we must build our self-esteem as parents, because our self-esteem will eventually rub on the self-esteem of our children. If we have a high self-esteem, definitely it's very easy for our children to also have high self-esteem, and we must build our self-image. If we must believe in ourselves, we must build our self-image as parents. What are some of the ways we can build our self-image? Number one, stop comparing yourself with others. Comparison, like my coach would say, is a killer of our joy. If we must build our image, we must stop comparing ourselves with others. We must focus on our focus. We must focus on our journey. We must keep our heads straight and focus on our growth. We must move beyond our limiting beliefs. We must step away from our limiting beliefs. Those things that have been limiting us for a while. Those things that have been holding us bound. We must step away from our limiting beliefs. We must add value to others. We must add value to others. It could be through our words, through the way we talk to people, the way we communicate, our contributions. We must intentionally add value to others. Another way we can build our self-image is to do the right thing, even though it is hard. Even if it is hard, we as parents must strive to always do what is right. Then we must practice discipline. We must practice discipline. The truth is that the conversation on discipline is a very big one. Discipline is teaching, discipline is structure, discipline is guidance, discipline is love, empathy, resilience. We must intentionally practice discipline on ourselves if we must grow. Then we must celebrate our small victories. We must learn to appreciate our baby steps. We must learn to celebrate our little efforts and not wait till everything is 100%. Then finally, if we must build our self-image, we must learn to take responsibility as parents. A good number of us don't like taking responsibility. We like to push the blame. We like to say, oh, I'm not the one. It's this person. It's Mr. A. It's Mrs. A. It's my child that made me to yell. It's my child that did this. No, we must learn to take responsibility for our growth. We should stop the complaint, stop the blame game. This person did not get me this book. This person did not provide the opportunity. No, we must take responsibility and take back our life. And taking back our lives means, growing, improving on ourselves. Then finally, chapter 4, we must set aside time to reflect. As parents, we must leave to pause, because when we pause, we allow ourselves to grow, because pausing is a way of catching up with ourselves. So we must give ourselves time to reflect. At the end of the day, before you go to bed, you can take 5 minutes or 10 minutes and reflect how your day has been. What are the things you did, the mistakes you made? How can you improve on those mistakes? Did I grow today? Did I read a book? How was my actions? We must take our time to reflect. If we must grow, if we must improve on ourselves as parents, we must intentionally create the time for us to reflect. So that is it for us today. We've come to the end of our book review for the first week of November. Thank you for joining us live. So we're going to have a few minutes break and we'll come back for our weekly webinar. So please drop a comment. Even if you're catching a replay, drop a comment. Tell us what you learned. Tell us your contribution, what you feel about this topic, and what you're going to do moving on from today. Thank you for joining me, and do have a great day. This is Chioma Odikolo here, and bye.